Hi, I'm Jenna. I help people on a spiritual path understand their subconscious patterns, release outdated energetic programs, and step into their inner authority. So, if that resonates, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. In this video, I wanted to talk about thoughts and emotions. There is so much information out there right now on these subjects, and I have fallen into this web of the order in which it happens. And so this might be familiar to you. You may have heard this concept that everything starts first with a thought, which then creates an emotion and then affects your behavior, your actions, or your lack of action, and essentially really trickles down into your entire life experience. But what if it wasn't actually started with a thought? What if it was actually your emotions that were felt first? I want to invite you to sit with that for a second because, in fact, it is your emotions that get felt first. A lot of times we don't have the language to fully understand what it is we are feeling, because feelings are internal. And for so many of us, we are taught to rely on the external, to not feel, maybe even to numb ourselves in order to survive. So it's actually the thought that is a result of the emotion. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been triggered? Have you ever saw something, watched something, experienced something, maybe an interaction, perhaps with one of your parents, let's say, or with a partner, a spouse, or a friend? And something about this interaction triggered an emotional response. I want you to be real honest with yourself, because these things are not always easy. And when I'm working with clients one-on-one, I have to sometimes keep pulling them back into the emotion because we don't want to sit with our emotions. It's uncomfortable. And we are so conditioned to move away. And it's actually in our wiring. Our subconscious mind is wired to move away from a bad feeling. And that moving away from a bad feeling is actually stronger than our desire to move towards a good feeling. So emotions we're not comfortable with. And I think for the most part, we are more comfortable with, happy, positive feelings. But now with social media and Facebook statuses and what the algorithm promotes, it seems like we are even moving towards the pain in those moments and less about celebrating our accomplishments and the happy moments. But we're even doing that in social media, where we're kind of being magnetized towards the negative, even in social media posts, because we are bonding and connecting through that in some way, even if it's a very irrational way. But I don't mean to jump off on a tangent. If you can think about a recent trigger or any trigger from your life that stands out to you, you feel the emotion of the trigger first. And so from that trigger, from that emotion, from that feeling, we then start creating thoughts, which then turn into stories, which then on repeat turn into our subconscious programming. And essentially, if we were to loop all of those things together, the feelings, the thoughts, and even the images that are being created by your imagination, when you have these things on repeat, that is your programming. So yes, our programming mostly happens in childhood, but we are brainwashing ourselves every day. To understand the subconscious mind at the most basic level, this is really all you have to know to rewire your mind. Okay? This is how simple it is, and yet it's also so complex at the same time. Emotion and imagery on repeat are what creates your programming. Emotion, imagery, repetition. That's it. So if you think about when you were a child, you didn't have all of the language, all of the vocabulary, all of the thought processes, but yet you were programmed. Why? It's because of the imagery, what you were seeing, the emotion that you felt. Perhaps it was fear. Perhaps mom and dad are fighting and you feel scared. And if that happens repetitively, that becomes your programming, your normal, your familiarity. And dare I say it, your comfort zone. And so there's so many people I see who are aware of their past experiences, aware of the dynamics with their attachment figures, with their caregivers, with their parents, but yet they keep pulling in the same patterns. And when it's you, it's very hard to see that. So I thank you for sticking it out this long in the video. Remember that we have the power to rewire our brains. If you want to call it brainwashing yourself, you have the power to brainwash yourself. So be aware of what images you are giving your attention to, what emotions are being generated within you, because our emotions are chemicals. They are addictive chemicals, and there are so many people walking around addicted to suffering, aware of it or unaware of it, but they doesn't have to be there, does not have to run your life. So if this provoked any questions, please go ahead and leave them below. I look forward to answering them and interacting with you more and creating more of a community here on YouTube. And if you like the video, like it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will be sharing more on attachment theory, on the subconscious mind, on the energetics of your blueprints and your programs, and giving you a lot of tools and tips to rewrite your life so that you can reclaim your inner authority. Also, if you are looking to do deeper work, you can visit my website. I offer free 30-minute consultations, so I'll link that below as well. All right, enjoy your day wherever you are.